How you doing? I'm here.
Guys.
What?
You ride your e-bike out here?
Yeah,
Do you ride up 63rd Street or how?
yeah.
Sign. Not 7:30, 7:45, rolling up. I don't know, somewhere along there.
Yeah, I usually leave about 7:15-ish.
Okay.
And let me think, by the time it takes me 10 minutes to get behind the quick trip. So yeah, probably another 5-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's about
somewhere
7:30.
coming up that hill, somewhere in that vicinity.
I ride on 28 for 1.7 miles.
Do you get off at Veterans?
It sucks. Yes,
Horrible.
I do.
That's what I've always debated. I'm like, if I were to get an e-bike, so you don't take trail, obviously, or is it closed now or is it open? They're like waterworks and
No.
that way.
No, I go down Ingersoll to
It's behind my
56,
office and then you cut, yeah,
56 to down the hill to Muskogee,
yeah.
and then behind
Gotcha.
Quick Trip. Yeah, gotcha. I have a GoPro on my bike.
I always, there's somebody
If
that
I
actually.
die, there's gonna be somebody doing something chicanerous.
I always, there's somebody that rides that a lot of mornings, like actually like rides it. And I'm like, that's just,
How many times have you had trash thrown at you when you're riding 28?
0.
Really?
Yeah, 0. Actually. Although I did almost get
Jeff
clipped.
started at me. I've tried a couple times.
ride.
Got to sharpen my aim. I have a couple times on the inside shoulder there,
Yeah,
but I don't hate it like a lot of
I've
people.
encountered a little bit of bad behavior, but it's not that bad. And the good thing is like having that battery, I only have about 2 waves of traffic past me
Oh, yeah.
by the time I get off. So I got a little side view mirror. I just keep an eye on people. If anything crazy happens, I can.
There's a little, and there's something of a shoulder, at least.
On the west side there is.
Yeah,
On
come
the
back.
east side there isn't. Now, the city of Des Moines is,
You build a trail?
they're building a trail from the Raccoon River to, and it's gonna, they're partnering with West Des Moines.
Keep coming back.
Go across the path,
It
right?
sucks because it's gonna be on the west side where they built the trail extension on the bridge, right? And then you have to cross at Creston, east, to the east side, and it's gonna be on the east side there. So between Waldinger, Veterans to the Raccoon River, that'll be done by like spring of next year.
That'll take care of most years.
We're good on all this, by the way.
Patio.
Everybody ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will now call to order the June 10th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. The time is 5:46 PM, excuse me. Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Samuelson,
Here.
Forrest,
Here.
Eaton, Caldwell,
Here.
Thompson. Here. Steiger,
Here.
Regganator.
Here. Item number 3 is the approval of tonight's agenda. Any changes to the agenda for this evening? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve tonight's agenda.
Second motion. 4 seconds.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 4 is the approval of the May 28th, 2024 minutes. Any changes to those minutes? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion and a second to approve the May 28th, 2024 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I'd like to welcome all of our guests here in the room and on Zoom tonight. I don't think there's anyone who wants to make a public comment on anything that is not on tonight's agenda. Item number 6 is a request from DHC3 LLC for approval of the preliminary plat of Blooming Heights Plat 4. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, this one's pretty uncomplicated. This is just another residential subdivision in the Blooming Heights area. You guys approved a subdivision on this property. I forgot to check the exact date, but I think it was early last year, maybe. It's 10 acres in size and will consist of a single extension of Bluebell Drive to the south with the cul-de-sac terminating to the west. Being a standard residential subdivision, they're required to do a parkland dedication with this. Just so happens that the northwest corner of this abuts two pieces of parkland that we've received in the past. So they're adding to that space. And that's basically all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions on this item.
So is that gonna be looped into that big park then, all as one?
Yep, it'll be one contiguous piece of ground. So Timberview Park fronts Timberview Drive to the west, and then was it Redbud? Or I forget the street name that's north of here, but it's
Blooming
gonna-
Heights. Yeah, it's
Yep.
Blooming Heights.
Blooming Heights Drive, yeah. So it'll be a triple fronted piece of parkland, which is, well, it's already triple fronted, but we're just adding to that space.
Just for the record, for Parks and Rec, this we can call it grassland. It's not a park because they haven't done anything to it.
That's accurate.
Any other questions or deliberation on this preliminary plat?
Elliot, I know when we talked about this last time, there was a comment about a bike trail that was going to go somewhere by somewhere along here that would potentially maybe connect its way over through and finally into 50th Street and kind of get the whole connect into the whole bike trail system. Is that still in the works here?
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. So one of the things that we consulted with the developer on in our pre-app meeting was making sure that there was a sanitary sewer connection to the remainder of the property south of this. Everything that would be served in the remainder of the property needs to gravity sewer through this subdivision. And so we had them throw a trail on top of that easement covering the pipe to the south. We don't have any comprehensive plan for what is going to happen in the rest of the the Swackhammer property surrounding this. But it is set up in a way that a trail connection could pretty easily navigate its way to the parkland piece to the east. In Blooming Heights South, so.
Good.
Any other questions or deliberation on this item? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to approve the preliminary plat of Blooming Heights Plat 4.
Steiger motion.
Second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Item number 7 is a request from City State Bank for approval of the site plan of the City State Bank addition. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yep, so City State Bank is doing a small site plan amendment consisting of an expansion to their current building footprint. This is the demolition sheet, kind of showing where some of the curbs and adjacent parking curbs are being removed to make way for additions. That includes some of the area in the median to the east of the drive-through. In this, so this comes from the original site plan. One of the things you can see north of the building where it says green space, that's the area that they're expanding into. So this is a contemplated expansion when this site plan was originally approved back in 2018, I believe. So yeah, it's roughly, I guess, 33% addition to the existing building. It's kind of within the existing site footprint. Everything else with the plan would be site compliant. So staff recommendation is for approval, and it would match in appearance the rest of the structure. We do have some additional architectural regulations in the Farms of Holland Plan Unit Development, basically increasing what's required, and they're meeting that. So Happy to take any questions. Also, Jason Ledden, who's with us tonight, is representing the project. Got any questions for him?
Thanks for joining us, Jason. Any comment you wanted to make to the commission before we open it up for questions and deliberation?
I think they did a great job.
Thank you. Anything from the commission?
The addition of the parking will be nice. You guys it's pretty cramped out there every once in a while.
If nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to approve the site plan of the city seat bank addition.
Thompson motion.
Skull, sorry.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Caldwell.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Reginator.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jason. Item number 8 is a consideration and recommendation on a special use permit request from Grant McConna for a single-use building with drive-through service at parcel 64250080010. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Henceforth known as the project site.
Okay.
Yeah, whoever is responsible for assigning addresses really should assign an address to that parcel. So this is a Board of Adjustment item that is scheduled to go tomorrow to Board of Adjustment, so we're kind of took a while for them to get me available meeting dates. Thankfully, we were able to get something arranged. We did a zoning amendment for this fairly recently to permit land uses on this parcel that match the PUD approved land use parcel G uses. And one of the things that is outlined as a permissible thing is a single tenant building with drive-through service. This is the language that's taken from the plan unit development, contingent upon the receipt of a special use permit. And the PUD language basically says it needs to demonstrate how the use fits cohesively into the town center development of land use parcel G. As is the case with a lot of development in the city, they kind of come on a case by case basis. And really the main motivation when we authored this PUD back in 2018 was just to give a little bit more of a critical eye to restaurant and food service businesses that we didn't want to just circle with a drive. Right. As long as we could get kind of moved away from that, that was the primary goal with that language. And we've done a pretty good amount of work pre-apping with the applicant here. And this is the preliminary site layout that they came up with. Getting that street parking on the site plan, and then also trying to get the bulk of the building moved to one side of the lot or the other, were two of the main points that staff wanted to emphasize on site design. We think those have been pretty well achieved here. The reason that the building isn't quite as far south as perhaps the setback and easement lines might suggest is because my understanding is the applicant wants to do patio space there. So that would look pretty nice on the Chatham Avenue side of the building. There's also, not to get too technical with engineering, but there's separation requirements for where driveway cuts can come in and out relative to intersections. So hopefully that helps explain some of the geometry. I'll let Jason, who's also representing this project, explain more on the technical side if need be. But that's the gist, and Board of Adjustment will hear about this one tomorrow.
I'm seeing this currently kind of from the side, would they enter from the north to go through the drive-through or the south?
So it'd be from the north
Okay.
for site flow. And sure, there's probably going to be a little bit of folks coming in that middle drive time to time, but that road tees at dead ends at the north end. So if there's ever a high congestion period, the circulation should be able to adjust for that.
Anything else for us, Jason?
Yeah, so, another reason for this building being further to the north is the stacking on this building coming in, because you come in that first drive and you pull in and you order at the window. So due to the stacking requirements within the city, that building was pushed a little bit further north to make sure that we don't have a Starbucks situation where folks are out into the street, backing up the street. Luckily, this is not a Starbucks. You're not gonna have that many people coming through here. This is the aforementioned, Nutrisport smoothie shop, and they feel like this drive-through is a really complimentary use to this area with the sports complex and kind of the type of folks who are coming in here and using their passenger vehicle facilities. So we feel kind of tying off to the sports complex there. This is a good use for this area. Again, with the patio space out to the south, we feel like we pulled this off the roadway enough that this kind of really fits within the development. And kind of push that drive-through closer to the road to keep it off the back. So be happy to answer the question.
Any questions or deliberation by the commission? Hearing nothing, I'll entertain a motion to, well, not a motion, but we would recommend.
Need a recommendation for
Yeah.
approval by the Board of Adjustment.
I would recommend, do you need us to vote on this or you just want to? Okay, yeah, I would make a motion to recommend approval.
Thompson seconds.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Thompson. Aye. Steiger.
Hi.
Samuelson.
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jason. Item number 9 is a request from Norwalk JV 22 LLC for approval of the site plan of the Dunn Industrial Condominiums. Elliot, would you brief us on this item, please?
Yes, so this is a site plan for a pair of 19,500 square foot multi-bay industrial buildings on the south side of town. It's a pretty straightforward site plan, mostly dealing with the footprint of the buildings themselves. And then the street facing side is rather small, so the architectural component in the industrial district is fairly simple because it only deals with one side of the building. And everything on here is good to go from a site plan and zoning review perspective. Don't really have a whole lot to add, except I guess I can speak on behalf of the fire department that the initial round of review with this required some editing to deal with some of their circulation issues and being able to make turns. And the designers and fire department figured out a way to do that. So it's good teamwork by those guys. Happy to answer any questions on this. I think we have one of the engineer representatives on the Zoom if there are client questions.
Thank you. Would the applicant or the applicant's representative like to make any comment on item number 9?
No, this is Wally Peltz Design Services. Elliot did a very good job explaining our fairly simple but complicated project.
Great, thanks, Wally. Any questions or deliberation from the commission on this item?
So was that quarter, was that part of the city limits before, or did that?
That was annexed into the city like when Luke, like a year ago-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most recent addition to city limits.
And that lot to the north is the only lot that's on that east half of that road that's still available?
To the south of this.
Okay.
Yep. So if you go into Google Maps, you'll see Titan Storage construction.
Is it just south of that?
Yep.
And then, okay. So literally land that we've developed within the past year, what is that, 40 acres for probably 15 acres of development within the past year?
Yep.
That's pretty amazing.
There are no other questions or any more deliberation. I would entertain a motion to approve the site plan of the Dunn Industrial Condominiums.
Samuelson, a motion.
Couple seconds.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Steiger,
Aye.
Samuelson,
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Thompson. Aye. Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Item number 10 is consideration and recommendation on the proposed vacation of right-of-way and public utility easement along Bryson Drive. Elliot, would you brief us on this one, please?
Yep, so when Hubble did a final plat here for Hughes Century Holland Point Plat 2, the initial plan was to have Bryson Drive punch through to the south of Garland Avenue. They have since gone back and revised their preliminary plat, which the commission approved earlier this year, I think. In order to accommodate the new street lot layout, they need to have us basically deed back the area that is contained in this exhibit. This is just the right-of-way area, and then also the public utility easement accompanying it to the east. So in case any of you didn't know, just about every new platted lot in Norwalk has a 10-foot public utility easement, mostly for cable and fiber. So that's why that is there. There's also usually some sort of liquid line of one kind or another located in those. But this one's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty small piece of infrastructure there, and that requires a public hearing at council, but not here. It's just a recommendation from P and Z. That's all I've got.
Any questions or anything additional from the commission on this one?
We do have the project engineer on Zoom
Oh.
if there's any questions for her.
Would the applicant's representative like to make a comment on item 10?
Hi, this is Emily Harding with Civil Design Advantage. No, I think Elliot explained it pretty well, so I don't have anything additional to add.
Great, thanks, Emily. There's nothing additional. I will entertain a motion to recommend the proposed vacation of right-of-way and public utility easement along Bryson Drive.
Second motion.
Forrest, second.
Hillary, would you call the roll, please?
Samuelson,
Aye.
Forrest.
Aye.
Caldwell.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Steiger.
Aye.
Reagan.
Aye. Thanks, everyone. Item number 11 is our city council update. Anything for us tonight, George?
I don't think just more of just a follow through of what happened. The Timberview lot, they were put the two together, if you remember that last time. Apparently, they had some street issues out there.
Yeah, quite a bit.
And so they put a whole, I think it would get approved, like it was approved through P and Z, but they're saying, fix your road first before we do anything. So
I
that
was talking with my neighbor because we were wondering if they were going to fix the road before construction was done.
yeah.
Cause if you're gonna keep putting, dirt trucks down there and whatnot, but yeah, from what I understand, it's quite significant repairs that need to be made.
Public Works, city engineer and city attorney had a meeting with the developer and contractors this afternoon. I wasn't able to make it to that one. And I wasn't able to connect with them before this meeting, so I'm not sure what the outcome of that was, but
They were laughing a lot, so it couldn't have been that bad.
yeah, that's good. That's good, so.
Yeah, I went out there and drove it, that made me curious.
It's rough.
Obviously, and
Yeah.
there was one part where you kind of fall down, except to go downhill, there's a cul-de-sac down there.
Yeah.
It's got you can tell it's going down,
Mhm.
and then just, I don't know, crack, you're gonna have some cracking in it, but, that's the one I noticed, cause I pickup actually
Yeah,
went down a little bit, so.
we had a sinkhole right out in front of our house that they
Oh, really?
repaired shortly after we moved in,
That's happened before. I know when they did, put in Lexington Drive out at Legacy, there was, he had some that failed. He went out and fixed them. I don't know what the proper, you hope it's perfect, but.
Where does that, just from a educational, where does that fall? I mean, is that on the developer or?
So, yeah, that's the interesting thing that we've been talking about. So every subdivision, when we approve and at final plat, after they've built all the roads, we get maintenance bonds. And those bonds are supposed to ensure the quality, workmanship, materials, and all that of installation of all the infrastructure for 4 years. So we'll get bonds from a variety of subcontractors, right? So the water guy will give us a bond, the sewer guy will give us a bond, the dirt work guys will give us a bond, we'll get bonds from all these different companies. The tricky thing is when there's a failure, fingers start getting pointed, right? Of, well, I paved it right, or, well, the road bed was compacted appropriately, and we've got the testing from that. And this, and so everyone wants to try to figure out whose issue it is, because nobody wants to have their bond drawn on, and no one wants to, incur the cost to go back and redo it. So kind of what today's meeting was, I understand, on the engineer and attorney side, was the developers still have a bit of a stake in it. I think it was hey, we want you to help us try to get this resolved type scenario. Whereas, it's possible developer sells out all their lots and walks away within the first 2 years of a project, and then something like this happens in year 3, and now we've got these bonds we got to try and fight with these subcontractors on. So, not the best way to handle it, but yeah, it's what we get. So we're actually thinking about changes we might be able to do to that. So.
I don't know how you do that. I view it to a certain degree, if it's minor stuff, it's like a punch list, like you go go back, fix it, because just things happen. And the other one would be, how do we inspect these going forward? I guess. I don't know how.
It's hard because like a common issue that we'll see will be a sewer line goes underneath the road. So when they did that, they took a trench, they put a sewer line in it, they filled back on top of it, right? And then that's supposed to be compacted to a certain amount so that the road, well, a lot of times you'll see a road fail right where a sewer line crossing was, and it's because it wasn't compacted well enough. Well, whose fault was it, right? Was it the sewer guys? Was it the guy that did the backfill? Was it the paving guys? And that's just the tricky part of that. One way to get around that would be to require one bond from the development group to cover all the work rather than individual bonds. And so we're researching how that works. From reading codes, it sounds like some cities do it the way we've done it. Some cities, their code would seem to imply that the developer provides one bond, but I'm not sure that that's necessarily the case. So I don't know.
Council tabled it basically
table
until that gets resolved.
Which was not a popular opinion. So from the folks I heard after the meeting,
I'm sure
that's all right.
Yeah.
It got action.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point, right?
I built bridges during college for a couple summers. This long story after this PIC program, if you're an ag old enough, they took all the corn base and put it to the side about half of it. So all of a sudden, someone built. But I tell you one thing: when the inspector wasn't looking, I took a lunch break. If it was supposed to be compacted, it was not getting compacted. I was labor. I did what I was told. But he came back. He was smart enough. He figured out there's no way you guys could have it done. He had to pull it all out and start compacting every 3 inches on the abutment all the way up. So we learned our lesson the hard way, or the company did. I got paid no matter what.
Well, thank you, George. I don't think Holly joined us on the Zoom tonight. Luke, any update for us?
Yeah, just some random development stuff. In May, we had 19 single-family homes permits get pulled. So it puts us up to 115 for the year. I keep kind of a running total of the last, well, basically going back to 2013. But then I average it out over kind of a 5-6 year period. So our average year to date would be 90. So we're 25 above what the average year would be, which is good. Last year we had 191. So to be at 115 going into June's an indication that we'll likely end up above last year anyway. So that's good. But of course, our residential is not all we're doing in town. We've got a lot of commercial going on, as you've all seen. The Quick Star's really going to town on what theirs is. So, and the Fairfield's getting close to wrapping up things as well. Sportsplex is going. We're getting ready to do some reviews on the Mullets tenant improvement stuff. We had a good meeting with them today, talking about what a patio might look like out there, so we're working on that. You guys might see a little bit of that work come back, 'cause it looks like the city will have to entertain splitting off part of our field house parcel to give to them for the patio, sell to them. I don't know, legal work on how that transaction occurs. Rental housing, there was a discussion a little at council a couple meetings ago about rental housing with a project, and there was some surprised folks around the room that a project might be a rental project, a single family and townhome. So I just did some number crunching, just I thought it was interesting. 80% of the community right now is owner occupied housing and 20% is rental. Of the rental, 64% of the units are in apartments and 36% of the units are single family and townhomes. And so that means there's about 350 to 400 single family townhome rentals in the community right now. So people acquire their housing in all kinds of manners in Norwalk, and we typically do not legislate that. We've done some changes to parking at the Greg Young Sports Campus. So trying to utilize the technology to push people down Chatham and to go to the north and east lots. And so we just got that finally moved last week. But then just in time for us to shut down Chatham because of the Quick Start project. So I don't know. I didn't hear anything much this weekend about parking concerns. So I don't know if that helped much. But we'll see going forward. The Quick Star will have Chatham shut down through the rest of the week. They're pouring back their spots tomorrow, and those will have to cure. So they should be open. Chatham should be open again on Friday, hopefully. Census, if you've got your census stuff, please take and fill that out. Right now, we're sitting at 26.7% online. There's 12 days left to fill it out, and we'd like to get that number over 50%. Right now, we're averaging about 1% a day, so we need to make that like 2% a day. So tell your family and friends and neighbors to go fill that out. It's quick and short, and it is beneficial to the community, and then they won't have somebody knock on their door. So please do that. In turnover to the department, we formalized promotions of our code official staff. They were operating as interim code officials, Mike Meyer and Travis Brockett. You guys probably don't see them very much, but they're out doing all of our inspections and managing that side of things. And so with some changes in the department, we have made them our code officials. So Travis handles all of our commercial inspections and code things, and Mike does all of our residential. And then that has led us to currently hiring for a building inspector position. So we got a couple interviews tomorrow, and it's kind of an open until filled. We technically have 2 positions open. So if you know anybody that wants to come work for the city and has some trade experience, have them go fill out an application. That's all I've got.
We need police officers too, right?
I believe so, yes. Yep, I think there's a couple police officer positions. But apply for building inspector. We're more fun. 8 to 4:30.
Thanks, Luke. Any update for us, Elliot?
Nope.
Great. Our next meeting is gonna be June 24th, 2024. And at this time, I will entertain a motion and a second to adjourn.
Thompson motions.
Those there.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned at 6:17 PM. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Yep.